So, okay. I'm trying to figure out where should I really even start? Okay. Okay. So right now, I feel like you guys are feeling emotionally and energetically sensitive. You could already be a person who describes themselves as highly sensitive, but I think you are really feeling the height of that sensitivity right now. And I don't know if this is because you've got a lot more like time to yourself. Because I was definitely getting that you guys are spending more time away from people, and we're gonna get into the why that is. But you are definitely alone, and if you're not alone, there are very, 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 very few people that you are allowing to have access to right now. And it feels like because the people that have had access to you in the past have drained you. Um, I do feel like there's some self recognition here of, you know, what you would have contributed to creating this type of monster in these people. People having this expectation of you to just show up and give 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 and give. And they just take and take and take and take and take and take and take. And they're comfortable doing that. Um, or they were before with this Eight of Cups, you would have ultimately walked away. So, Death card in reverse is what we have sitting above the Eight of Cups. So, we've walked away, but we are not fully done with this energy, these energies. And it's not that we're not done. Like, no, I think you're done with these people. But I don't know, maybe this is a cord cutting that needs to be done. Um, there's a resistance to moving forward, which is how we are still holding on to these people because we're letting what has happened to us in the past in these relationships, because it feels like relationship trauma, um, affect our ability to have new connections now. And we have the Queen of Cups and the High Priestess. So you guys are people that are very intuitive, very tapped in, very connected, and I think you thrive in connections, or at least you used to feel like you did. Um, I think the ability that you have to show up for people has so much to do with how connected you are to your intuition, because it means you can assess people's needs better. And I think recently, since you've cut away from these people, you've used that understanding to be able to to be able to assess your own needs better now and show up for yourself and tend to yourself and nurture yourself. Because you could have been really neglecting yourself before. So interestingly, I'm wondering if this is something that you guys are calling in, or I don't think the High Priestess is usually seen as a card of manifestation, but I kind of feel like there's a connection there where you are manifesting something and you intuitively feel whether this is coming towards you or not. You intuitively feel like this thing is for you, this relationship, because that's what it feels. Excuse me. That's what it feels like we're talking about right now, for sure. We are this whole reading is absolutely about relationships. Um, Six of Cups in reverse, though. Six of Cups in reverse with the Ace of Cups. So this is holding on to the past. At the beginning, I was thinking like, oh, maybe we're holding on to good things. No, this is not holding on to anything good from the past. I actually think that connected to this Ace of Cups is the Four of Cups in reverse. So this feels like a revisitation of some kind, either somebody you rejected in the past or somebody you felt rejected by in the past. But before we get there, We're not going to talk about what this Ace of Cups is just yet. We'll move into that later. Um, I want to talk about you guys because that's where the focus is right now. Because even if this thing that you're trying to manifest comes in, ultimately, the thing that is going to, I always say that whatever is for you, you can't mess up. So you're not going to mess it up, but it's just not going to go as smooth as it could go, even for you. Because I was also getting a lot of like anxiety from this group, the group of you guys that are going to be resonating with this reading. This could go so smoothly, not perfectly, but in a way where if anything bad does come up, we roll with the punches, we adapt, we move on. But I feel like there's a fear of that. And I think it has to do with trying to do that in past relationships and coming to the conclusion much, much, much later that it was no longer to adapt and maneuver and try to go with the flow. It was actually time to pull back. So although we have pulled back, it's like, first of all, let's take a minute because I want to say congratulations to you guys, first of all. Okay. It's a hard thing to do to recognize this in the first place. And it's an even harder thing to do to actually walk away and choose your peace, choose your solitude. And it feels like ultimately that's what you guys have done. But I think now we're at the point where we're choosing peace just a little too well. Okay. It's a little quiet in here, and I think you're enjoying that because look, in the Queen of Cups, she's sleeping, she's getting her naps in. Like there's a specific routine that you guys have created for yourselves now. You've gotten very comfortable in because there's no distractions, there's no disruptions. It's just you. um, which feels like it would have been a far cry from where you were at before. Because everybody wants a little bit of the Queen of Cups because she's so warm and loving and nurturing and caring and again intuitive and highly, highly empathetic. You know what's interesting? Do you know what's interesting? Before we even continue this reading, oh, this is hilarious. I got y'all tea. Oh my god, I got y'all's tea. Our last reading, no, the reading before our last reading, go watch that if you haven't. Okay, that was about the King of Cups and what they had going on and who they are and kind of like the role and responsibility they've taken on. And ooh, just go watch that reading. But I talked a lot about, well, not a lot because we were being tight-lipped about it. There was some mention of like a secret desire that other people don't know about because this person is keeping it to themselves because it doesn't feel safe to share this information with the people around them. And that was the King of Cups, right? Now today, we're sitting here, we're doing this reading, and I'm looking at how this whole reading is about the Queen of Cups, and the overarching for today's reading was the Seven of Swords in reverse. So this is something that the Queen of Swords is desiring and keeping quiet about. So we're looking at counterparts right now. I love it. Oh my god, I just pieced that together. I did this whole entire reading a minute ago, scrapped it because it was coming through weird. And I'm just now piecing that together. So after you finish this reading, please go watch that last reading. And if you're the King of Cups, if you related to that reading about the King of Cups, this should give you some insight on the person you're dealing with or you're manifesting, or y'all know what y'all are doing. Both of you. Both the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. Y'all are not low. Y'all are not low. Okay. Woo! Okay. Y'all can hide from other people, but you can't hide from me. Okay, the energy does not lie. Okay, getting back into it. I was getting that for you guys, a relationship in your upbringing feels like a parent, feels like parents. So let's get more specific. Let's not even say a relationship. Your parents specifically are also impacting your ability to move forward. That's why I said this was relationship trauma. Now, the thing about that is that's relationship trauma, but it's not even like it's your trauma, but it's not like It's your trauma because you were a bystander to what was happening, but it's not your trauma because it happened to you, but it wasn't. Like you would have been getting kind of like the fallout from what these two parties, these two characters, your parents would have had going on with each other. So we had the Ten of Pentacles come out upright initially, no, come out in reverse initially before we flipped it upright. Um, and that reversal meaning was feeling like even if these are people that are still married to each other, their relationship is not good, and a lot of it has to do with like finances and assets and what the two of these people have physically created with each other, which you as the child would also fall into that. So you could even feel like a pawn kind of um in these people's relationship. Like when they're fighting or they're arguing, it's like everybody else is a lot more involved than they should have to be, and that's where that trauma is coming from. So it's deeply impacting the way you view love and partnerships, even though that is something that you are desiring ultimately, because the Queen of Cups is a lover for sure. um I just saw 1111 on my timer, and we have the Four of Wands out here right now. So definitely, I want to say some sort of a reunion between counterparts. Take that how it resonates. Okay. So there's going to be an opportunity to actually connect with something that someone, let's not say something. Because normally we try to keep it general, but this one is not about something. It's not about a job. It's not about any of that. This is absolutely about a relationship. So if you're not interested in hearing about a relationship or any of that, that's completely fine. Just today's reading is not for you. Um, there is so much. I feel like we're gonna be jumping around all over the place today, so please bear with me, guys. Um, I was saying about these figures, right? So that's what your upbringing looks like, right? So that's already one piece of the trauma, right? That's one piece of why you have the fears that you do about maybe settling down or like committing and letting someone commit to you. Because I'm also looking at this Eight of Pentacles in reverse, which feels like a kind of person that you a kind of person, a kind of people. This has felt like a pattern, like this was multiple people that you guys have dealt with in your lives, where the Eight of Pentacles in reverse is like when you have that coworker that everybody is still wondering like why they even still have this job. You're like, why hasn't this person gotten fired yet? They're never on time. They call out all the time, or they just simply don't even show up. Then when they do show up, they're taking all kind of breaks. They're complaining, they're lollygagging, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, but like they're still getting the same pay as everybody else. How does that work? So when you put that into a relationship sense, these would be people that show up maybe sometimes. They're inconsistent, they're unreliable, they're not solid. And I feel like with you guys showing up as the Queen of Cups, you're solid. Okay, Queen of Cups is loyal. She's literally, other than the Empress, like she's literally the mother. And if we're talking about the Empress, like she's the compassionate, sensitive portion of what makes the Empress herself. So what makes the Empress be able to show up as that healthy mother is this individual that is extremely warm and intuitive. And it's like you do it because it feels good. Taking care of people, showing up for people, it feels good, but it's also just intrinsically a part of who you are. It's in your nature. So I was getting like heavy Cancer placements in this reading. Um, let's see what else. Where do we want to jump around to next? Right. So in the middle of our reading, we had the Chariot, and on one side of it, we've got the Six of Cups in reverse. On the other side of it, we've got the Death card in reverse. And then under it, we have the Six of Wands in reverse. And at the top of it, we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. So we want to move forward. We are connected to what our heart wants. So when I say we're connected, it means that we have the awareness of what it is that we're desiring. And it's like we're sitting in the car in the driver's seat, but we're not moving because we're like, but I don't know where to go. And like you have clear directions and it's like, oh, but what is it gonna be when I get there? Like what exactly am I walking into? Am I walking into much of the same? Um, is this thing gonna be for me? Like I'm hoping that it is because there have been people that I have thought were for me in the past and that, blew up in my face. And of course we accepted our responsibility in the role that we played, of overgiving and allowing that to go on for so long. Which part of the reason why I feel like that went on for so long is we had this Five of Pentacles in reverse, the Seven of Wands in reverse, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So these four cards right here, what just flipped over? The Death card in reverse just flipped over on top of the Chariot because it's the blockage. We're resisting letting go. So what we're resisting letting go of is the past. And it is past trauma, it's past hurts, it's the way that people have disappointed us. It's the relationships we've had to let go of in the past. I think you guys are just tired of having to walk away. Like, you're just like, listen, I want to feel like these people are for me and that last. I think you guys are really seeking longevity, but it feels like in the so far you've had to like really learn that every relationship doesn't last, and when it's time to walk away, like that's what you got to do. And I feel like you guys have more than adjusted to that fact, and we've got the Eight of Cups here, so you're doing the walking away. But even though we've left these people and these situations behind, we have not left behind like how alone we felt being in connection to these kinds of people. Having these be the people that are in our contact list. But again, it's like, can I call this person if I'm struggling? Like, if your car breaks down, you get a flat tire, can you call these people you're looking at your contact list? Like, can I? Or you're calling them and everybody's busy, they got excuses and they got to do this. Again, not solid. But if people call you, oh baby, you would hop on a flight. With a spare tire, jumper cable is what you need. You know what I mean? Like Queen of Cups is also going to be well equipped with the kind of stuff that a person would need in an emergency. And that's going to be a specific for somebody. That might not be for just, everybody. But the point is that you guys are extremely intuitive, and the part of like how that intuition shows up is in the way that you can accurately assess what people are needing from you, even without them having to say it. They're like, oh my God, I actually really needed that. Thank you. How did you know that that's like, how did you know? And it's because you felt it, because you are deeply in tune with how you feel. And I think that might be something that you struggle to be able to do when you're not in connection with other people. So when you're alone, it might be harder to understand how you feel because you're not feeling it. It's hard to just feel those feelings on your own and feel like your heart is open. So you could feel like your heart chakra feels like it's blocked, it's closed up when you're alone. But then you're around people and it's like, oh my God, open my heart up. But then we're opening our hearts up to the wrong people. So the Seven of Wands in reverse feels like we're letting our guard down. Like that Seven of Wands is tricky. Because if you let your guard down and the wrong people are around, what happens, right? They're gonna take advantage of that. That's a vulnerable energy right there. That is somebody who could feel defenseless. But I feel like that's a period of your life that's meant to be left behind. And I do think that you guys are trying to do that. And I think you've taken some of the necessary steps. I just think that this reading is being brought to you now so that you can understand the next step is doing this again. But with, for some of you guys, I feel like this is a bad person. But outside of that, it's not just going to be one person in one relationship. This is about being able to put yourself back out there. And, obviously you're not going to be jumping into being vulnerable. I don't even get that y'all are going to be doing that anyway. But giving it time, feeling it out to see like, okay, is it safe? Is it acceptable? And maybe sometimes you're going to think it is and it isn't, and you'll have to walk away again. I think that's a huge, like, fear, or like something you guys just don't want to deal with is the, hold on, let me make sure we're not clanking. um it's the having to walk away. It's like, no, I understand when I need to walk away. I just don't want to have to keep doing that. But that is part of your evolution. It's empowering you. That's what this was for. All of this was to empower you, and actually, so that you would not feel like a bystander in your own life. You would be able to get in that car and get in the front seat, not like you're tied up in the trunk. you know so it's time to move forward. And I think that something is coming towards you, wanting to move forward. Now, the funny part about this is the overarching of your reading was the Seven of Swords in reverse. So there's something that you guys are doing, participating in, thinking about, manifesting, and other people don't know about it. They can't see it because you're kind of doing it over here, and it's not something that's going to just be visible just by looking at you, but it's going on up here, and it's a lot of it going on up here. um in reverse, though, this is a revelation of some kind. So whether this is a confession or we getting caught, I don't feel like you're getting caught, because again, this all feels like this is up here. So this is like, you would have to share this. And I think that's what we're afraid of. So I don't know if you guys have somebody that you're afraid to like share your feelings with, or confess like how you're feeling and what you want ultimately in this situation, because it's like, yeah, but even if I express that, then I have to actually sit here and engage with you. And I have to assign the trust to you that I'm in good hands. Like, you guys are looking at yourself like you're in good hands with me. I just want to be able to have that feeling be returned back. I don't want to keep having this false sense of security with people where I'm building these relationships and I'm like, okay, time to be vulnerable because I feel safe and I feel good here, and then boom, we got to walk away. So I do think that, like, you guys have really struggled with feeling alienated and outcast and othered, you know and I think we've gotten so used to feeling like that now we're like projecting it into our future. So we're taking our past and we're already like turning the wheels of fate. Oh my God, that's what this Wheel of Fortune is in reverse. We're turning the wheels of fate, but not in our favor. 23:23 on my clock, not in our favor. That's the problem. There's a card in my Oracle deck too, and it's called the Consequences of Fear. It didn't come out, but that's exactly what we're talking about right now. This is like confirmation bias. Um, but also, it's like when you're trying to manifest, let me give y'all some manifestation tips right here. When you're trying to manifest, the last thing you want to do is focus on what you don't want, because that is exactly what you will call towards you. Um, and it's also, and I'm gonna tell you why too, because when you're up in your head like that and the thoughts are happening and all this fear happens, this can also be like thought spirals. That can be something you guys struggle with, like rumination. If we spend too much time in those kinds of thoughts, what's going to happen is it creates that fear. Now we're in a triggered state. And you know what we do in a triggered state? Not anything good, not anything helpful and productive, because we can't see clearly. Um, so this is really needing to manage your triggers, because in whatever this new situation is, even if this is a past person, new person, it doesn't matter. You're going to get triggered. But you have to be able to understand in the moment when that's what's happening, so that you don't cause an unnecessary tower. Now, I feel like whatever this is for you, so I don't even think you actually could mess it up. But you can resist, and it'll create a lot more tension, and things will be so much harder than they really have to be, because I'm getting that you guys are really looking for some ease right now. And you can have that, and you deserve it. And it's like it wants to come to you, and the universe wants to give it to you. But then there's also that part of you that is counteracting your own manifestations by being stuck here, by being stuck in the past. Your body's in the present, but emotionally and mentally, like, we're in the past, and that puts our body in the past. This is when like flashbacks are happening, and you start thinking about that stuff from the past, and then you start thinking about the future, and like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna. And now, I wish I could explain it in the way that it's like showing up for me mentally right now, but it's like if you were to look at like you guys know those old cameras, and when you take a picture, it's the strip, right? Film. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm really thinking of like film, duck, camera film. But you know how like there's frames. See, anyway, there's frames, right? When you're manifesting, right, and you're putting like that positive energy out there, those frames, those are the happy, like we're looking at like happy thoughts. So if you're thinking like, oh man, I want to be married, and like this is the kind of place I want to live in, and I want to live in the suburbs, and this is the kind of life I want my kids to have, and these are the traditions, and these are the principles I want to instill in them, and you're really trying to visualize, which is an important part of manifestation, and you're really putting yourself there, and it feels good and it's nice, right? That's the film. That's the role that we're working with. The camera. We'll call it the camera roll. Bear with me, y'all. um Once you get triggered, or like you get a negative memory, that pops up, we dip into that film, and those frames start getting messed up, because now what we were looking at that was like good before, now it's like it's timelines. It's like now you're trying to get off of the timeline, um where this is what it means to connect with people for you, and we're trying to get onto the timeline where the relationships that you engage with pour into you equally as much as you pour into them. But when we are so caught up in that fear of what has happened in the past happening again, we now take it and we project it onto our future. And those frames that we were looking at that were all happy, nice, and positive are replaced with what we have experienced before. And that, like, it blocks the energy for what it is that you're actually trying to obtain. And for some of you guys, this could even be like a fear of being alone. Maybe you have a fear of ending up alone, but then you're also afraid of connecting with people. So then you will end up alone because you're allowing that fear to like overtake you. So you guys you've done, I don't want to say you've done the hard part. You've done a hard part. But I think the hardest part for you, actually, and maybe this will even shock you that this was going to be the hardest part for you, is that in order to truly let go of the past hurt and really, really release yourself from these relationships, this is better than any cord cutting. Okay? Even though I think some of you guys might need to do one of those as well. But more than just a cord cutting, moving forward and maybe reconnecting and actually moving forward in a relationship where shit went very awry in the past is going to be for some of you guys. But if it's not a relationship in the past, it's just moving forward with new people and having just enough trust to be able to feel things out and let yourself be comfortable enough. Nobody's saying, you know, completely throw caution to the wind and just be vulnerable with these people and let your guard. No, but to just feel it out, because again, we talked about how intuitive you guys are. So whatever it is that you're feeling, it's right. You're not wrong, and you do need to trust it. You need to trust yourself. You need to trust how you feel. And you need to trust it enough to actually follow it and listen to it, because that is what is trying to call you forward right now. And for whatever it is that y'all are secretly over here manifesting that you don't want people to know about, okay, that's going to be the key to getting that thing. It's like you want it for a reason. You want that person for a reason. You want that relationship for a reason. You want that friendship for a reason, okay? And it's because you feel deeply connected to it. We've got this Ace of Cups. So, but then it's being blocked by the eight. Ooh, literally. The Eight of Pentacles in reverse was sitting here blocking out the Ten of Pentacles. So this is either that you need to let go of how someone in the past didn't show up for you, because maybe you've let go of that person already, but now we have to let go of what happened in that relationship and be able to trust that other people are not like that. You know, trust that you don't deserve that, and there are going to be other people who can recognize your worth and are going to be willing to give that to you. It's really been a mixed bag in the collective recently, as far as like new people, old people. I think it's going to be different for everybody, because people do grow and change. So it's not always like, I don't like the whole narrative. Ooh, my nose is itching. That's confirmation. Some of y'all are definitely reconnecting with people from the past, but I don't like the whole narrative of like, if you let go of somebody, no, you can't let them back in. You know, I think that that's up to you, person to person. I mean, you know why you let go, but also I think that there's a conversation that has to happen here. And I think that there's definitely a lack of information, because we were looking at the Two of Wands in reverse. So you don't feel like you have enough information to comfortably move forward. Two of Wands in reverse with the Three of Wands. But you are, I think, going to take that step forward. And then we have the Four of Wands. So it's going to be positive and it's going to feel good. And I do think there is going to be some level of stability. That's why I said it was funny that I saw 1111 on my clock, because the Four of Wands is kind of known as like the 1111 card. But then we have the Ten of Wands. I feel like you guys want this so bad, and you're burdened by that. Like, you're burdened by your desire for it. You're burdened by not having it. Like, oh my God, friends, you guys are in a state right now. I'm sending you guys love. I love y'all. Nine of Swords in reverse. So we need to release fear. There's a lot of fear and anxiety here. And ultimately, it's going to be the thing that stops you. It's really hard to see outside of fear sometimes. Like, can I just say that? I'm a person with a lot of anxiety. Okay. I have my own trauma, my own triggers, and trust me, they come up. Okay. So this message, it really is as much of a call out for you guys. I mean, yeah, for me as it is for you guys. So I'm here with y'all. Okay, we are holding hands. Come back, give me a hand. Give me your hand. We're here together. We're here together. So don't feel bad. This isn't a message to make you feel bad at all, because like I said, you guys have really moved through some things, and you do need to be proud of yourself, because it's not easy walking away when we have the Eight of Cups, because look at all these cups that we have already. It's really easy, and people do this a lot, where they're like, oh, but I've been friends with this person for so long, and we've whatever, and I've just put so much in. And this is y'all being like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. Okay. And the universe is proud of you guys for that. I'm proud of you guys for that. Okay. Whatever you feel like you've lost in the past, even if it was with a past person that's coming back around, it wasn't a loss. It was not a loss. Everything that has happened thus far, and everything that you've had to let go of thus far, was really just for your own self-empowerment. It was to teach you, it was to show you where your strengths are, and some of them, but it was also to show you that your strengths are more than just being the nurturer and the giver and the caretaker and the mother, essentially, whether you're watching this and you're a man or a woman, in or non-binary, it does not matter. Trust me, it does not matter. This is solely about energy. um but we've got this Four of Cups in reverse, so I feel like this is a revisitation. Four of Cups is about rejection, apathy, boredom, stuff that we're just like, we're offered this fourth cup and we're too busy looking at the other three cups and being like, that sometimes we're either not even looking at that fourth cup, we can't even see it because we're too busy focused here because this is not working, and this is like, and that's a struggle. Like, it's the Four of Cups for a reason, because it is emotionally impactful and it hurts. That's why we're focused on it, because we're hurt, and that's hard to be able to move outside of. So when this fourth cup shows up and it's trying to offer you something, you don't know whether it's offering you something different or not, because we're just not even interested. So I don't know if this is something or someone that you guys have rejected in the past, or this is someone that rejected you. But I just think that this is part of like the healing and the moving on and the letting go of the past. This Eight of Pentacles is getting shuffled all around my table today. So this could be a person who fell into that pattern with other people, where it was they were showing you much of the same that other people have shown you, which is that they're not able to be relied upon, because they just kind of show up whenever, and you never really know when that's going to be, and you also don't know what they're showing up offering, or what they're giving, if any. And I feel like that's probably why you were feeling rejected by this person. But because I mentioned that we were looking at counterparts, in that, the King of Cups was that other reading, and now we're looking at the Queen of Cups, and I absolutely think these readings are connected. I would say that this is probably a person that felt rejected by you in some way, and that's where our wires get crossed here. Because if communication doesn't happen and we do the whole stewing thing, which the Seven of Swords makes me feel like we were, and we're doing the whole like keeping it to ourselves, keeping it locked away, and nobody's saying how they're being affected, then the Tower happens. Even though I do feel like somebody here was trying to avoid the Tower falling, because we have the Knight of Cups in reverse and the Tower in reverse. So that would have been a person who, I'm going to connect it to that Four of Cups with the rejection and the, not being able to see what's being offered to you. I don't think they saw themselves as good enough. And so even if you were offering them something, I don't feel like, whether they could see that you were or not, I just feel like the rejection was coming from them rejecting themselves. I heard over and over again as I said that, so that's for somebody. So this could be a person that you feel like you've tried to show your interest in over and over again, and the rejection was happening over and over again, because I don't think they were receiving it properly, because I don't think they were believing it, because they were like, okay, but like, I kind of feel like this person likes me, but like, why would they like me? Because the Knight of Cups in reverse can be insecure. It's like we're not stepping forward to even throw our hat and then running and offer up our cup, because we don't feel like what we have in our cup is good enough. So this is interesting. We're getting a specific storyline for some of y'all. So it's like you're offering your cup to this person, and they're rejecting it because they're so busy focused elsewhere on what hasn't worked. And definitely swap the roles in what I'm saying if it's meant to be that way. And then on the other side of you, like trying to give your cup and them not seeing it because they're, so focused, is them wanting to give their cup but not, because they feel like they're going to get rejected. And so then both people are just rejecting each other, feeling rejected, and then nothing ever comes of this situation. Because this Tower of Earth lets me know that there was some avoidance here. Like, we were trying to stop the tower from falling, but this feels like an internal tower. So we were trying to stop our internal landscape from literally crumbling with inside of us, which I think that internal landscape is like this person's perception of themselves. in their own worthiness. Like they were running away from really like addressing why they didn't feel good enough to step forward, and maybe they didn't even consciously know that. But whether they did or they didn't, there was still some running away from addressing that. You know, like this person does like you, so why can't they like you? You know, like really sit with that. Yeah, so I think they didn't come forward because I don't think, oh, that's what this tower reverse is. Okay, they didn't come forward. That was their way of trying to stop that internal landscape. It's like, I don't feel good enough, and I don't want you to confirm that I'm not good enough by me stepping towards you and you rejecting me. But they were already rejecting themselves. See how that works? Because in order for them to assume that that was going to happen, they would have already rejected themselves. Okay. I'm trying to make sure that we've touched on everything that we have in this spread before I let you guys go. I have a fortune for you guys today, actually. I like keeping fortunes in my phone case. This one is a stroke of luck will bring you love. So it's like the wheel. This one, the interesting thing about this is this wheel turning in your favor is up to you. This is like you want better, ask for it, manifest it, but don't just ask for it because the wheel could spin and these things can come towards you, they can be offered towards you, but if you're still in that 4 of cups of worrying about what hasn't worked and feeling like, you know, you're going to be met with much of the same, then you're not going to have any better, and that just becomes a negative confirmation, and then you're really going to feel stuck and unhappy, and the whole point of this is to break you out of this. Like, you deserve good things because you're a good person, you know, and you show up well and you give, and you don't do it from a place really of expecting anything back. I get a very selfless energy from this reading. um you are worthy and you absolutely are enough. And whether it's a past person that's coming around because they're just now recognizing that, or this is a new person, either way, it does not matter. Because some of you guys can feel like, I don't want a past person, I just want a new person. But if you haven't even let go of what happened with you and that past person, whether they're gone or whatever, what's going to come towards you next is going to be that person in another body, okay? Because it means that there's just something still left over that we haven't learned yet. Now, the more dominating energy I think that we're looking at here is looking at that 4 wands, kind of giving reconciliation, throwing it out there. Which is funny because I feel like you guys want that, but the idea of wanting it and the worry of whether you should want it and whether you can really have it and whether it's a good idea and whether it's going to happen, like there's so many questions, so much uncertainty. I'm really surprised we don't have the moon card out. It's burdensome and you're carrying it alone because again, you're keeping this secret. Like, nobody knows. Like, nobody knows about this, not even the other person. And the funny thing is, based on that King of Cups reading that we did before the last reading we did, you don't know. Go watch that reading. Now you'll know. Otherwise, you don't know what's going on with that person either. So this is really interesting. But 3 of Wands, 4 of Wands lets me know that ultimately you guys do step forward, and the potential for this to go well and in your favor is right there. You just gotta accept it. I think that's it. I mean, the only court that we have out right now is the Queen of Cups. So when I tell you guys it's your time to receive, I mean that. But you got to be ready for it. And the only way, really, in this particular situation, to get ready for this is to just simply go with it. You just got to go with it. You just got to take that step forward. You got to take the leap of faith and just try it out. See what happens. I mean, you guys, can I tell you that, like, you actually have done the hard part. You've learned how to walk away when your needs are not being met. You went from overgiving and being selfless and not even being a person who could recognize that they have needs to recognizing that, turning around, pouring into yourself, giving everything you have to give to yourself, nurturing yourself, whatever you're working on creatively, whatever it is that you care about. This could even be pets, you know, your job, or your career, whatever. Um, you figured out how to do all that. Like, and you did it. You did it. You didn't sit there and play victim and wallow. Like, I don't get that that's what we're doing. But it's just that even though that's not what we're doing, there's just internally, there's still some leftover debris of these past situations. So you did that hard part. And all of that really was to prepare you for the fact that in life, you're going to have to walk away. Doesn't mean you won't meet other relationships, or connect with other people there will be longevity, in these relationships, and you will maybe be friends with these people or in a relationship with them forever. But there will still be other relationships that you will put into and you will have to walk away from. But you've learned how to do that. You're more than capable of doing it now. This is a very empowering energy because there's like a fierceness with which we are protecting ourselves right now. So even if this is a past person and they come back around and you give it a shot and it's not what you're looking for, your needs are not getting met, like, you're more than well equipped to be able to walk away if you're not getting what you want. You're more than capable of being able to even recognize that now, and you didn't have that before. And that could be a lot of why you and this person separated, because we could be looking at people in separation. I definitely think we are. Because this person was showing up as that Eight of Pentacles in reverse energy, and they needed to be shown that, like, in life, you can't just feel entitled to the Queen of Cups because she wants to give to you. So, like, oh, let's take advantage of that, So their lesson probably would have been how not to take people for granted. And your lesson is to not allow people to take you for granted. See how y'all are a pair? But it's like, now that they've learned that and you've learned that, and the test of whether they've truly learned that or not is going to be in giving to this. Even if it's like minuscule, nobody said jump back into this with this person and just trust them and dive headfirst. No. No. Feel it out, because you can trust yourself to do that. Okay? Because you have a very deep connection to yourself. That's why you can connect so deeply to other people in the first place. Okay? You just got to be able to trust that. Trust how you feel and continue to stand on business. Okay? Continue to let your feelings and what's happening in your heart be the driving force behind what you choose to engage with, whether that is people or anything else. Okay? I did have some oracle cards for you guys before we go. We had begin with faith in spring. So beginnings, innocence, fertility, growth. That one felt like, I think you guys are really struggling with the innocence that comes along with, like, new relationships and connecting with people initially, like the beginning stages, because we have the beginnings. There's a fear of those beginnings because they can feel so good, but you're afraid of, like, the drop, You're no stranger to, oh wow, this is so nice, and then boom, this is not what I thought it was. I was getting Happy and Sad by Casey Musgraves. Please go listen to that song. I love that song. The album is so good. Anyway, but in that song, she's expressing that in the present moment, she's very happy. She's actually overwhelmingly happy with the circumstances she's in, the person she's with, what they're saying, how good the moment between the two of them feels. But there's just still that underlying, like, tinge of sadness because the past is being triggered, and the fact that, like, this feeling is maybe all too familiar of, well, this feels so good, and then again there's that drop. So whoever, I will say again, new person, old person, that's really up to you guys. Use your discernment. Cannot stress that enough. Regardless of which it is, this is a trust fall exercise for you guys. Like, you're being asked to fall back and let whoever this person is catch you. Like, let them be sturdy. And if they're not sturdy, let them do that. and then show them the door. Okay? So there is no need to be afraid. And I know that's easier said than done because anxiety is a motherfucker. Okay. Um, I just keep want to say, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. And don't let these past relationships steal from you in the present and then muddy up your future by allowing them to have so much of an effect on you still, even though they're not around, that you just don't even want to give new people a chance. Because let me tell you about these old people from the past. They're still going on connecting and taking and doing and throwing parties and living it up. And you're over here by yourself when you don't want to be and you don't deserve to be, because you are a person who, I keep wanting to say well connected. So you're going to be well connected. And that's another reason why you need to get out there, because I think y'all need to start doing some networking. And there's some people you are meant to be in connection with and you haven't met them yet. But you won't meet them, or you will, but you won't give it a chance because we're held back by fear. Okay? I love y'all. Now, I just keep having to throw that in there because I can't stress that enough. Again, we're here together. We have surrender to the change, the art of allowing, resilience, adaptability. It's like you guys are so adaptable, and that's why this is crazy too, because I'm not trying to downplay your fear, but you're afraid for no reason. Like, y'all got yourselves, you got your own back. You've already proven that by the way that you've shown up for yourself already. Okay? The art of allowing. What did I just say about the trustful exes? Listen, let it happen either which way. Either this person comes back and then they're in disappointment, cool. You're not in a position, I don't feel like, to be getting caught up and swept up in anybody that's showing you different than what you feel like you deserve, because you're connected to that now. You're aware of that now. And we sometimes, oh, this is a big thing before we go. It's really easy. This is about that fear, that fear that we're projecting. It's really easy to be afraid of like repeating these past patterns or getting swept up again, but we don't understand this death card right here. You've already experienced the transformation. It's actually already happened. You've already surrendered to that part of the process. And that was the bad part. Now you're being asked to surrender to the good part and you're afraid. And that's completely valid. Trust me. But you're being asked to do it afraid. Like, that anxiety is not going to go anywhere. You have to engage with whatever this is and let your anxiety be quelled. And also, let me tell you, you choose to engage with this person again, they show up much of the same, whatever. The washing your hands of this and walking away, because that's what you've learned how to do, is going to feel so good. Okay, it's going to be your moment of empowerment, because this is like, all right, you're not coming over here with all that bullshit. I know what I'm worth. I know what I want. I know what I deserve. Okay, I know what's for me. I know what's not. And I know that I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. I don't have to, again, be a victim. I don't have to let you just come in and breadcrumb me. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that, so I'm not going to do that. Okay? That's where y'all are at. But you don't even know that you're there. Like, give yourself a chance is really what this is. Less about give this person a chance. Give yourself a chance to prove to yourself that either this is going to be good, and then you get to experience that goodness. And then it's like, wow, I part of the reason why you get to even have this with this person, whether this is a past person or a new person, is because of all the things that weren't for me that I've walked away from in the past. So let's take that moment of empowerment and let's, okay, raise the roof. Pat yourself on the shoulder, give yourself a hug. I'm giving you a hug, okay? I'm giving you a hug and a kiss on the cheek. Mwah. I just can't stress it to you guys enough. Like, you're good. You're okay. It's nothing to be worried about. Whatever this is, it's either for you or it's not. Spoiler alert, I think it is. But it's either for you or it's not, you know? And it doesn't mean that you won't still experience fear and triggers all while you're going through it. But this is really just about taking a step back when necessary to be able to really sit with whatever it is that comes up, because this actually is going to trigger you, and that's part of the purpose of it. Especially if we're talking about counterparts, those relationships are always to trigger each other, but it's to trigger growth and healing. We're triggering the past because it's time to let that shit go, okay? Um, y'all got this. Y'all got this. What? I literally, whatever you're doing, I don't care what you're doing. Stop yourself right now. Stop this right now. Okay. Matter of fact, don't stop it yet. Go to a mirror. Go. I don't even have my mirror around me. Go to your nearest mirror. Okay, and say, "You got this. I got this. We got this. We got this, guys. We got this. We got this. We got this." Let me see if there's any more encouraging messages I can give y'all before y'all go, because I feel like y'all need it. Oh, we had a way out of the weeds, and it was in reverse. The clear way out, multitasking, getting organized. So it's a time to organize your thoughts. I mean, if this is a past person and you know, because y'all know, those of y'all that are secretly manifesting this, you know. Okay, I just saw 5522. Take a minute to maybe write down like what you would want to say to this person if they do come back around, or any talking points, anything that you feel like you might want to bring up, whatever you want to throw out there, anything you want to set the record straight on, right? Like take a minute to really organize. And if you don't have to write it down, then just sit with it, meditate on it and really just take a minute to organize your thoughts so that you don't feel crazy and caught off guard when this comes to you, because it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Okay. Ace of Cups to the Ten of Pentacles, like whatever you want, you got it, and then some. And it's going to be really good. I mean, first of all, that's beautiful right there. Because to take something that you feel so deeply about, and then we get to the Ten of Pentacles, which is that sturdy, solid foundation that you've been looking for. And part of the reason why you're getting it is because of the way you know how to show up and contribute to a situation like that. You're only going to be putting yourself, you've already have actually put yourself in alignment for someone to come in and meet you right there. Okay? But you gotta let them. Like, you didn't do all this work for no reason. You did not come this far to come this far. Okay? You came this far to reap the benefits of everything that you've done thus far. You've cleared out so much space in your life for people like this, not just this person, but for people, for these relationships to come in and give to you in a way that you have not been given before, but also give to you in a way that you give. And you don't have to feel bad about it. You don't have to be worried. And all the anxiety you're experiencing right now, the only way, and I cannot stress this enough, the only way to let go of it is to allow these people to come in and show up. And like I said, they're not going to be perfect. Nobody said they won't ever disappoint you, but that'll be so much easier to deal with because they'll have built a history of not disappointing you, so that when those things happen, you can give the benefit of the doubt. You can be compassionate. It doesn't mean you won't get triggered, but it means that it's easier to work through because you'll have like your memory bank on these people. When you look back, will be like, yeah, I mean, maybe today they couldn't come through, but like they always do. They usually do. So like if they really couldn't, it's because they really couldn't. I know that if they could, they would. So yeah, I could have been telling yourself, if this is about a past person, if they wanted to, they would. Well, they want to, and now they just might. I'm not going to say that they will because I don't know that 1,000% either. And the whole point of this, that Spirit wants me to stress to you, is not to be so worried about going into this saying, oh, because they're back around, or because, we're manifesting each other, or because we both really want this. Like, they're definitely going to, because they want to, they absolutely will. It's tricky. We're trying to get you comfortable with the idea that whether somebody does or they don't, you're okay. You know why? Because you have yourself, and you will always have yourself. And I think you guys are coming to realize just how valuable having yourself is. And whoever you've pulled away from, this person or other people, are also coming to realize just how valuable you are. Okay? And trust me when I tell you, their lives are missing out more due to your absence than yours is. And remember that. But your life is going to continue to be missing something. And that's genuine connection with genuine people. Because again, you deserve it. You're worthy of it. You don't have to show up and overgive. You don't have to do any of that. You were just worthy from the beginning, from the jump. And these other people knew that. It was just convenient for them to convince you otherwise, because it was going to keep you stuck and you would stay there and you'd give and you'd never have to want more for yourself. Wrong answer, because you do and you did. And we have to do more than the wanting better for ourselves. We got to actually be ready to just accept the better coming in, and that's so much easier. Like, we think that's so much easier to do before we actually start healing, and we realize, like, dang, I've healed so much that, like, I'm not ready to have that be risked by, like, connecting with people. But it's worth the risk. It's worth the risk. It's worth the risk. So I'm gonna get one more oracle card peek. Oh shit, that jumped right out. The emergence of true knowing in reverse. Intuition, rigorous honesty, and inventory. I'm actually gonna look at the book to see what they say that means in reverse specifically. What is that? 41? Okay. Let's see. People often don't trust their intuitive hunches because they aren't taught to recognize them. Doing so would give us too much independence from our social conditioning. Who benefits from our limited perspective on how life works? To rule a population, you must take away their power. Wow, let me finish. To rule a population, you must take away their power. Long ago, we went from communing with spirits in the hidden realms to being punished for having this knowledge. We were ruled by fear until this inner knowing was suppressed and all but destroyed. Our indoctrination of ignorance is further demonstrated by the way we refer to the sixth sense as spooky, weird, or fake. Spooky. Intuition is our first sense, not our sixth. And especially Queen of Cups, High Priestess. Are you kidding me? That's all your senses. What? Listen. Listen. High Priestess, she's the keeper of secrets for a reason. People trust you with their secrets for a reason. Okay. There's also just the fact that the High Priestess just knows. This is that inner knowing that we're talking about. Now, I wanted to pause because I was just saying, like, these people knew your worth and all that, and it was just convenient for them to convince you otherwise and to convince you to go against your intuition because it would keep you stuck. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Okay. It is our most accurate internal navigation system operating in the domain of our primary reality, which is spirit. Right now, you might be looking for the logical cause and effect of the story. Stop overthinking and trust your intuition. If it sounds amazing but your gut says no, then follow your instincts. If it seems sparkly and fabulous but you sense something fishy, don't ignore that. You have the exact answer you need when you get quiet. The power is in you already. Just listen for it. Oh, just listen, for it will only ever show you the truth. That was it. Yeah. So, if somebody is coming to you, giving you shit in a box with a bow, and the box looks beautiful, you can smell through the box that whatever is happening in there is not something you really want. And again, it's just like, just trust that. I also think you guys were struggling with codependency before, and I think that that's been something that you've really healed. So you don't have to worry about accepting the shit in the box because we're not codependent anymore. So it's like, again, you can't just come around and offer me whatever, but like, I know that for real, you're not really talking about nothing. Bottom of the deck, the emergence of hope. Hello. Okay. Faith, trusting in a divine plan, all is well, patience. I mean, I can't stress that enough to you guys. The number 44 on this card. Let me read really quickly what the book says, and then I really am going to stop holding y'all up. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoyed today's message. I enjoyed like delivering it to you guys, and I enjoyed hearing it because I needed this one. All right. The emergence of hope. Hope in its truest manifestation is believing in the goodness within people and placing our trust in a positive, meaningful outcome. It is knowing that all is well despite temporary evidence to the contrary in the manifest world. What I tell you? Let me stop. It is a beautiful energy that we need to foster on a daily basis. To tune into its essence, we must do so wholeheartedly, knowing that spirit is the source of energy of all life. So maybe getting out into nature will also be really good for you guys. Just go touch some grass, literally. And like, if you're disabled and it's not, accessible for you to be able to touch grass, if you can just get outside or even sit by a window and be able to connect with the tree or the sky or the moon, um, that would absolutely be in your best interest. Um, Today, everything good that you are aligned with is true. You are attracted, even inspired to act toward your beautiful, fulfilling destiny. Some things might be taking longer than expected. Perhaps loss has taken you on a temporary, shady, and unfamiliar path. But nothing is truly lost. What? Listen, listen. Even in our grief, there is the seed of love and redemption. Hold on to your unwavering faith in the highest good because it will not be taken from you. Allow the emergence of hope to take root in your heart. Be patient and trust that all is well. And that's the note that I'm going to leave you guys with because there isn't anything else to say. All is well. And even if things get a little bit shaky because, people, you're an attractive person, and we're not even just talking about your looks. We're really just talking about that spirit, because that's really what's shining through and making you look so outwardly attractive. Okay, it's that soul, baby. Okay, it's that aura, that glow. Okay, um what you've got going on internally is what's creating that external beauty. So it doesn't matter if somebody comes around and they're in chaotic energy or whatever, and they think they could just get over, or they want some of you because, be honest, like, why would they? Why would they not? You are in such a place of empowerment where that's not gonna fly. Those days are over, and that's because you chose for it to be. You decided that those days were over. So give yourself some love and allow yourself to be loved, because with this Ace of Cups, like, it's not just about a past person or just one singular relationship. This is about people. This is about community, a network of people that want to come in and love up on you. Okay, because they're going to meet you in the first 5 seconds. They're like, oh, I love this person. Like, it's just something about this person that I need to be around them. And it's not going to be in a vampire wanting to drain you kind of way, because you're going to be feeling that same way about them, and it's going to be reciprocated. Very Two of Cups. Okay, very mutual, lots of chemistry. Okay, sorry. On that note, though, this is where I leave you guys. I love you guys so much. Remember that we are all here together all the time. Even if I'm doing a reading and it's not something that I, resonate with myself personally, we're still here together. Like, what? That's why I'm delivering it to you in the first place. Okay, so let go of the fear. Okay, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If this did resonate and you want to claim this message for yourself, because you should, it's really good. Please give this video a like, share it with anybody else that you feel like may need to hear this. Subscribe to our channel so that you can keep hanging out with me. Make sure you turn on my post notifications so that you know when we're having a little hangout, chit chat, sit down. Okay, because once I actually do get a little bit more of a subscriber count and like more interaction from you guys in the comments and stuff, I'm gonna start premiering these so that they can go live and you guys can like chat it up.